I think Jalen Warren said it best after the game. He basically admitted we didn't take them seriously. I think that's basically the entire game. That's the entire thing is we didn't take these guys seriously because there's no other explanation for losing to a 2-10 team.
None.
Most 2-10 teams, to overstate the obvious, are bad. Cardinals are pretty bad. And to lose at home like that, it's just another thing. I'd say it's honestly one of the top 5, if maybe not one of the top 3 worst losses in the Tomlin era at home at Acrisure, and it's an embarrassment. And it's only worse. You've lost Kenny Pickett. You've lost,
Landon Roberts.
You lost Landon Roberts. T.J. Watt was up and down, and on a short week where we play Thursday against another garbage team, but. This is the kind of thing that I think when people say, and I'm one of them, that I think Tomlin's overstayed his welcome. It's time for him to go. Is kind of proof in the pudding to me, right? You just there's really no excuse. You just came off of looking pretty good off your best offensive performance of the season against the Bengals. Granted, not another great team, but you did it. You brought all this together, and then you come out and you look like this. Another 12 man on the field. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you couldn't look any worse than you did yesterday.
Kate, what do you think happened?
I feel like it was a house of cards. It's just they had 4 games forward momentum, and then this. I don't know what happened. It's just one or two screw ups, and it felt like every play just crumbled. Just like Kenny Pickett and Mitch when the center just couldn't get that ball out. Like it just fell apart. It was embarrassing to watch. I'm like, I can't believe this is the same team. I was very disappointed. I mean, I'll always love them, but man,
that's a really good analogy. It's a house of cards. Basically, it was held up by this entire season has been a house of cards, really. Yeah. It's been held up by sticks and just nothing, straw, basically. It was the first 2
strands of hair.
Pigs.
It's barely
and there. When something like whatever happened, whether it was Kenny getting hurt or that 4th and 1 at the 4th and goal at the 1, whatever the heck that was, or whatever it was, but it's like it just all came tumbling down, and now everything's on the floor. Now what do we do?
Well, yeah, it's 4th and 1. You can't score against one of the worst defenses in the league. Then you turn around and allow them to go basically 99 yards and score the other end. To, again, it's just not a great offense, and I mean it was bad all around. I mean and the analogy on Mason Cole was good too, and I said that and tweeted about that. A lot of these people, you bemoan Kenny Pickett and this and that. How many times, and if you went and saw any of the games in person, he made Mason Cole look good because he was constantly saving snaps to going to his left, to his right. I mean, he was constantly bailing them out. And, you can only do that so many times on a wet field like that. And, Mason Cole looked awful. I mean, he could have arguably been the worst player on the field yesterday. And, of course, it transitions into turnover because Trubisky gets in there, who's not used to working with him. And it's a turnover there because that's probably something maybe Kenny could have saved. It's not necessarily a knock on Trubisky, is that Kenny would have been ready for that because he'd seen it from Mason Cole. So, it was – the offensive line was just garbage yesterday. I mean, there was nobody at all looking good.
I agree. I feel like and I think the rain delays definitely did not help. I mean, there were already – it made a slow, bad game worse. And it's just they couldn't stay warmed up. Then they kept going back into the locker rooms. And, they're not warmed up, and it's like and then they're in that I think in a downward spiral because they already knew it was a bad game and it was just not getting any better and just stretching it out to the point where I couldn't even watch it anymore on my local affiliate. I had to switch to Red Zone to even sort of watch it. And it was bad, but you referenced the injuries and I see that Mason Cole is out limited with his neck. You know, I don't know if that's an excuse, but he's been, I feel like he's been problematic this season. Like every time he snaps it, I feel like every game there's a problem with a snap. So,
Yeah.
and I felt really bad. I mean, I think Mitch Trubisky is a decent quarterback. I mean, obviously Kenny is the top on this, but I think what was that, like the third play, like with Trubisky, like second or third play, and that terrible snap, and people like, look, it's Trubisky, he's you know, he's crap and this, and I'm like, the guy literally couldn't hike or snap the ball to him, like he literally couldn't get the ball, do his job, get it out to him. So I mean,
yeah.
That was
And
rough.
Joe and I have said, to your point, you know, Mitch Trubisky came in, I think it was earlier this year. He's not a bad backup. You know, I mean, he came in, did what he needed to do as a backup. But Joe and I's greatest fear, almost week to week on the show, is he's not the guy you want starting week in and week out. And it's looking, from what they're saying, that could be what we're looking at for the next couple of weeks. That to me is problematic because he's very turnover prone. You know, he'll throw maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns a game, but he may also throw 2 to 3 interceptions.
Yeah, we can't have that. Well, maybe we can make another 2-10 team look good Thursday.
Yeah, we're about to see another one. Yeah. You know, Mitch Trubisky's put into a tough spot. He was put into a tough spot. You know, I think it was against that he screwed up. Oh, Jacksonville. Jacksonville, and then this game. You know, he's going in cold. You know, in hindsight's 2020, but when you have an easy chance at a field goal and you say, no, we're going to go for it on 4th and 1, like, that's really a hard spot to put him in when he's coming in cold.
It was a bad play. They should have tossed it to Jalen. They should have faked it to from Najee and tossed it right to Jalen. My thought. Anything but a
freaking shotgun on 4th and 1.
Yeah.
That's clearly they need to fire Matt Canada. Oh wait, they already did.
Who's probably sitting on the beach with a Mai Tai right now? Like,
yeah, it's like, hey,
not this week's not my fault.
Did you miss me now?
I mean, you had Boz missing a kick yesterday. I mean,
that was shocked.
Nothing was working at all.
You knew you were in it for a bad day when Boz misses a kick.
The Wizard of Boz. We can't lose him. Thank God for him. He saved our butts on many occasions.
Yeah, he's so good. I've seen numbers where he's basically better than Justin Tucker right now.
They literally said,
I don't know how old Tucker is, but I think Boswell might have passed him. But you know, Justin Tucker gets all the credit.
Oh, everybody loves Justin Tucker.
Yeah. So now we'll see. Now, that's the other thing, though. Okay, Kenny Pickett was 7 of 10 for 70 yards, whatever. I mean, he got out early. If he's gone for maybe the rest of the season or the next 4 weeks or something like that, we don't know. If we don't know what we have in the dude. We don't know if he's good enough. You know, it's like, okay, why is he bad? Because of Matt Canada. Okay, we got rid of Matt Canada. Now we're going to see what Kenny Pickett is really like. Now we don't know. And there were times when he was missing open receivers, and it's like, okay, fine.
I think it's still his inexperience. He's still young, and he's still. I feel like I don't know. Like, I'm not sure how they trained over the summer, and I'm not sure how well they work with backup quarterbacks. But I feel like, I mean, when you're the primary quarterback, you have that rhythm. You should have that rhythm, and it's frustrating to watch Kenny miss that, like, sometimes over and over. Like, there's some plays it's like 3 and out and it's like 20 seconds. I'm like, I just got up to get coffee. It's done. Like, it's already, the drive is done. Like, what? Sorry.
I think what you're going to see is just how much better off they were with him. Now, I know he wasn't setting the world on fire. You know, I think you had Brock Purdy like with 6 touchdowns yesterday or something insane like that. And again, a guy who I think mathematically could have been our quarterback back the year we drafted him if we didn't draft him, but that's neither here and there now. But you know, he's a guy that I at least would feel pretty confident going into Thursday's game still, even after today. But when you take the starting quarterback and he's out, I mean, no matter what team it is, even if you're a good team, and the Steelers aren't bad, but even if you're, you know, an 8-3 or 9-2 team, like if the Eagles are going into next week's game without Jalen Hurts, you'd have some pretty big concerns. We are already struggling on offense as it is all year, and now you just took the guy that just showed the most promise, last week out this week. So now, honestly, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. They may make this Patriots team. Well, they're not going to make them look like juggernauts. I mean, the Patriots are just awful. They lose 6-0 to the Chargers on Sunday, and it was probably one of the worst games I think of the year, if not the last 10 years. But yeah, now you don't have him either. So all of a sudden, you have two awful teams, and who knows? And honestly, if TJ Watt, he might be able to come play. I mean, why not rest him? I mean, on 4 days rest, you don't want to risk him hurting an ankle worse.
Honestly, I would rest him. It's not worth
and
it.
now the linebacker issue without Landon Roberts, Joe. I mean, we talked about this or no at end. I mean, their depth at linebacker right now is basically non-existent. You got to go get Shaq. Yeah. You've got to go get Shaq Leonard and sign him tomorrow.
I think I think the Eagles just got him today.
See, so I didn't see that. So I mean,
I think, or at least that was a report.
Yep. I mean, and so if that's true, then there you go. I mean, yeah. They're in big trouble right now.
I think that was also another huge turning point in the game when Landon Roberts went out. Even the Cardinals figured out, they have no middle linebackers. Let's just keep throwing it to the tight end. They can't stop it, and they couldn't.
They just crushed it every time.
No, McBride's probably been one of the hotter tight ends in the league in the last couple of weeks, and that's the one probably bright spot they've had is the connection between him and Murray. And as soon as they saw that, it was on.
Yeah, they were very aggressive, and they just flew in every time. It was painful to watch. Like as you finally got to the fourth quarter, I'm like, please just end this game.
And then there would be another rain delay, and it never
ended.
I know. I think it was earlier in the week. Who was it? Zach Ertz, the tight end for Arizona, just quit. It's like he put in his 2 weeks notice or 2 hours notice. Like, get me away from here. We're like, oh my god, how pathetic is this team that the players are just jumping ship? Oh, they're so pathetic. That was actually the best thing because then they can just throw to McBride all the time. So, it's scary. It's scary. Our only hope of beating New England is if New England is actively tanking, which it kind of seems like they are.
Yeah. They have a lot of injuries too. At least I'm not sure who's limited. Yeah.
The disparity kills me too, Joe. Last week we're talking about, okay, well, you know what? Maybe because all of us had them at about 10 or 11 wins. Maybe that's attainable now. We were looking at, they should definitely beat the Cardinals. They have a winnable game against the Patriots, the Colts. You never know what you're going to get. I think that Colts team they may have lost to. They were hot yesterday. Gardner Minshew just finds a way. But their schedule is very favorable. Another matchup with the Bengals coming up. And now all of a sudden, after yesterday, any faith that I think Steeler Nation had, any excitement, any flame that got reignited, however you want to term that, was just not only just snuffed out yesterday, but I mean, punch in the gut.
Yeah, it was stomped.
They have to rebound, and again, you can take it lightly. They go out there Thursday night and they clean the Patriots clock and win, 28-10 or something like that. Could you imagine that? We haven't seen that in years. Maybe it rekindles the fire a little bit, but I mean, Thursday's game is honestly now kind of a big deal. You don't think it is. It looks like it's going to be awful to watch, but they need to win that game.
It shouldn't have to be a big deal. It should be like, but it is. It's a fight.
We all did it. We all looked at the schedule, after the Bengals game and said, after they fired Matt Cannon and how they looked against the Bengals and said, oh my God, Arizona's a win. Yeah, this is easy. The Patriots are a win. The Colts are a win. The Bengals are a win. We're going to win. We're gonna win. We're gonna go 14-3. We're gonna steamroll the Seahawks and the Ravens, and then we're going to the Super Bowl. And and it wasn't just us; it was all the quote unquote experts were saying this. It was like, oh my God, could the Steelers get the number 1 seed? And like I was watching the Chiefs and the Packers last night, and the Chiefs lost, and I think they're 8-4 right now. And like technically, the Steelers are only 1 game behind them, but it's like, those teams are close.
Yeah, I guess, and that's to me where you again, there's that whole thing where all Tomlin does is win. Well, no, he doesn't, and I guess I put a lot of that on him. And to his credit, at least he admitted that in the post-game press conference. But I just don't understand how your team is not up for that. And Joe, you hit on the point too that he came right out and said, we just look past these guys. And you were good. You won the Bengals game, okay, but don't, like Con Solo says, right, to Luke, don't get cocky, kid. Like, it was basically 1 week at a time. Don't get cocky. We're not exactly, the 85 Bears. We just beat the Bengals. Let's retool, take one game at a time, and they obviously took this week off.
Yeah.
They
should have taken it much more seriously.
Here, right? It's kind of like, you were saying is they either pick themselves up and come out and win, or it could now be a spiral. If they lose to the Cardinals and the Patriots, Joe, then it's very.
Then it's full-time panic. Then this season might be gone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we might be looking at the sacred winning non-losing season streak. That's how bad things might get if they lose on Thursday. I think you could say it's simple human nature. It's like, oh, you look at a team that's this bad and you think, oh, we got this. This is easy. But but is that on the coaches? I think it speaks to a bigger problem, and that's the maturity of this team. We've seen it all year. We've seen it every week. Every week, there's a wide receiver that unfollows a team on social media, or forgets to, or doesn't feel like playing this play, or as the ball is bouncing around him, or some drama or something like that. This seems like an immature group. And you would think it's like, well, that's on Tomlin. Tomlin should. It's like, guys, you're professionals and you're adults. Grow up and wake up.
Well, here's the thing. Some of them aren't. I mean, they're 23-year-old young men. George Pickens is 23, 24 years old. I have daughters older than him.
He should be old enough to know.
He should. But there needs to be, I don't know if it's a team mentality, where, and I know from what I understand, a couple players had gone over. I think Najee had worked with him a little bit, but it should be, I don't know. I feel like they're not completely united. Like they're kind of grouped together. And I don't know if that's a coaching thing or a team thing, or I don't know, but I feel like it's slightly disjointed, which explains the entire season really for me, is it's not fluid. They don't read each other 100%. And I don't know if it's the shuffle, Matt Canada, Tomlin, the young players, the older ones not working with the younger. I'm sure they are, but I don't know. Like I can't see.
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of chemistry and unity. It's just not there. And I think, when Ben retired, I think that was always kind of there. And that's not a knock on Kenny Pickett, because I don't know if Kenny's ready to have a captaincy yet. I think it's more like he's still learning, man. He's
young too. Yeah.
He's young too. He's kind of just getting the groove. Najee was a captain and you took the captaincy away from Najee. I don't know if that was an adverse effect. It just seems like they're all kind of lost. Like there's no one picking it up. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, it's like you see there's individual efforts. Like Highsmith did look pretty good yesterday, right? Jalen Warren had some flashes, and it's like, yeah, man, but it's just not like we've seen in the past, even from the years when they were, okay, or whatever it may be. And if you really want to go back to the Super Bowl years in 05 and 08, where that was great chemistry. But you're right, it just doesn't seem to be there. And I mean, I think a team with good chemistry and good leadership finds a way to keep that game close and possibly win it, even with losing Kenny. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know what more you can say about probably one of the worst wins of the Tomlin era. I mean, there's nothing good about it. I had notes here, Joe. Usually I have a decent sheet of things I want to discuss or talk about, or go off of something one of you say, and we've already kind of exhausted it. I mean, there's
there's not much to say because it's just You had to laugh. You had to laugh. It was that bad. You just like this is absolutely ridiculous. It's either I laugh or cry. So I'm just gonna laugh at this stuff because this is just insane.
I think the weather, I would attribute somewhat to the weather. I mean, it's always hard to go out there, stop, and then they had to do it twice. I'll never forget there was a Penn State game. We were at Columbus, and they actually were taking it to Ohio State pretty good. And then there was a long rain delay. Or no, I'm sorry, it was Michigan State. And there was a lightning and rain delay for like an hour and 18 minutes. And they came back, and their momentum was gone. I mean, it was just, so anything that I think they could have been working on, and it's just so hard to get back out there and get up.
Lose your groove. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Could you imagine just being told it's like, okay, go out there and get them. Yeah, let's be intense. Okay, calm down for an hour. But when that hour's done, look, let's go. Times it's like, no, I'm good, man. Let's go watch TV or something.
They crest back down. You lose. You're not warmed up. You're not like all adrenaline up. You're not hyped. Like, I'm gonna get it. You're not. You lose it, and then to do it twice, forget it.
We didn't even
to the
talk
point where
about
the fans were beating the crap out of each other in the stands. So.
Oh yeah, that's
that was not good. I mean, Steeler fan versus Steelers fan. Folks, we can't beat each other up. That's not cool.
Listen, but we're missing the real reason they lost. It's because Deontay Johnson celebrated during a touchdown.
That was really tacky. I thought
it was really tacky. Okay, yes, he's only scored 2 times in the last 2 years, so I guess give him a little bit of slack. But considering after what happened last week,
don't celebrate too hard, my friend.
Don't, when you're very much a losing game, I don't know, maybe save the dances for TikTok or something. I don't know.
You could do like Miami does. They sit in the end zone and just kind of row.
I don't know what that celebration.
They won really well. Yeah, they deserve that.
Yeah, I mean, people are making such a big deal about that. Deontay dancing is like maybe
the least of the problems.
I was gonna say maybe like number 100 on the list of problems or something like that.
Try catching the ball, folks.
It would be last.
Yeah.
It would be last. Yeah.
And he was just so happy someone scored. He's like, yes, I get the happy dance, but it was like, I felt like it was a little excessive. Like, all right, we're good.
The whole thing about Tomlin is basically games like this. I mean, they call it a Tomlin game. It has a name because it happens so often that you lose to a horrible team that you should beat. But I think we're just going to see what, we're going to see if he's lost the room, and we're going to see if he's in how good of a coaching stuff he is in these 3 days. They only have 3 days, but they were embarrassed so badly.
He's bad.
I think they're going to bounce back.
Home. So bad.
Yeah.
I would say so. I mean, I would even say it's one of those weird things, Joe. You're right. It's like, it's not only a Tomlin game, it's kind of Tomlin ball, right? Like they could be playing the Ravens Thursday. And on a normal circumstance, I'd say, you know what, they probably have a good chance of winning Thursday, even they look so bad. But again, losing Pickett is going to hurt. Landon Roberts hurts. I don't know, is Isaac Silmula coming back? I'm not sure if he's
probably not.
I mean,
at least not this week.
They lost a lot on Sunday.
I think he's out.
And I think now again, they're kind of the luck of the Steelers this year. They're getting arguably the worst team in the league coming in. Yeah. So maybe they find a way to persevere and survive that would give them about 10 days, I think. What is it, Joe, right? 10 days between, if it's a Thursday game. So I mean, give them some time to recoup and stuff. But that's the thing. If it was Kenny Pickett and company, I'd feel better, which that's kind of, again, the irony itself, right? All these people, Kenny Pickett sucks. Kenny Pickett this, Kenny Pickett that. Well, now you don't have him, and guess what? You really wish you would. For all the crap you want to pile on Kenny Pickett, you kind of wish he was there.
Well, it's funny. Everybody blame Matt Canada. Canada's out. Everybody blame Kenny. Kenny's out. Well, now what?
Yeah.
Now who do we blame?
What if Mitch Trubisky sucks? What if which is a very good possibility. What if he's horrible? It's either Mason Rudolph or they just signed Trace McSorley today.
Yeah.
I saw that. What are they doing with Mason?
I have a solution. Big Ben. Why not? He's in town.
Wrap his feet up. Let's go. Just stick him out there.
He's in town. Yeah.
Get them big boots on.
You
Look
at him.
Just lost all that weight.
Terry Bradshaw.
He might be a little quicker.
Yep.
Terry Bradshaw. What's Brian St. Pierre doing? What's
Brian St. Pierre.
Where's Dennis Dixon?
They had Heath in the house. I saw him around. Get him back.
Charlie Batch looks good. Charlie Batch looks good.
Charlie Batch looks good. Yeah. Steve Bono. What's
pull
he
him away
doing?
from announcing. Yeah. He could do it live from the field.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We need Coach Cower back. Is what we need.
Yeah.
I think Mitch is going to be fine. And I say this every time he has to play, that he's basically playing for his career. And this is like a resume for him. But and every time he does that, he kind of sucks. But still, one of these times it has to be good, because we say about Kenny Pickett, oh my God, he missed this. He missed this receiver, and he missed this, and he missed that. It's like, okay, well, if you bring another quarterback in theory, he's going to see all these open wide receivers and move the ball around. So I don't know. I mean,
again, we're all here, and I've said this before. We do what we do, and but we're not the experts. But I would like to think that I got to feel their approach. The coach has got to be sitting there saying, look, Mitch, your job Thursday is to not lose the game. We are going to load them up with Najee. We're going to load them up with Jaylen Warren.
Yes.
And if we win the game 10-7, fine. Just don't lose the game. And I think I'd be okay with it. I'll take a win any way you can get it. But I mean, that's what I would hope the game plan is. That's the only thing I could really see, because when you have Mitch start hurling down the ball, you may hit Deontay for an 82-yard touchdown. You also may throw 3 picks before you do it.
An 82-yard pick six. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just. So that's I guess what I would ask, Joe, and I'm hoping to see is a manageable game from Mitch, which I think he can do. He did it, like you said, it was a really great point. He did that earlier this season. That's what you want out of him.
Yep.
Bring him in, do what you got to do, feed it to Jalen, feed it to Najee, and let's win and go home.
Do you remember last year he outdueled Tom Brady?
That's right.
So I mean, it's possible.
You never know.
I honestly think that New England's tanking. I mean, Belichick is very smart, and no, it won't be happy when he gets like although if New England ends up with Caleb Williams, that would be funny, because he seems like a little bit of a crybaby. I don't know. When you run up into the stands and cry into your mommy's arms, you really think you're going to last in Boston? Bro,
no,
that stuff don't fly there.
No.
I want my mommy there so I could cry.
I thought it was so funny. Everybody was tweeting about this past week when they put the promo up for the game. It was T.J. Watt versus Bill Belichick. I mean, how bad are you?
You got 53 players on that roster. You can't pick one of them?
Right. I mean, nobody. I mean, they couldn't say, well, okay, let's put T.J. Watt and let's find the Patriots' best defender. Let's build it up like that. Great defender versus great defender. No, they couldn't even do that. So,
they should have put T.J. Watt against like the cast of Goodwill Hunting or something like that.
Right.
My boy's wicked smart.
Dunkin' Donuts or something.
Yeah. Yep.
The statue of Paul Revere. Oh,
anything.
Yeah. That's the New England is a mess. Basically, Belichick's a good coach, but letting him run the team is a really bad idea. He picks terrible coordinators, he drafts terrible. It's real. It's good playing for the Patriots when you're winning championships and you got Tom Brady and everything's fine, and you're winning Super Bowls and stuff. But when that's not happening, you're just miserable. It's like, why do you want to go up there and just be miserable? Tom Brady I don't know.
Good.
Tom Brady made him, and they've really
he had a good line. He had a good crew with him. I mean, it was like the magic touch right there.
Yeah.
Well, right. You could throw up that Spider-Man, meme where they're pointing at each other in this, because it's like, the Patriots are kind of the same disarray. They don't have neither that communication, that chemistry they used to have. I mean, a couple of years ago, this was a death sentence for the Steelers. Now, it's most likely a winnable game, but I think that's the frustration of Steeler Nation, or the three of us at least, that there's probably about 15 or 18 teams on Thursday will probably, wipe the floor with the Patriots, and we should be one of them.
Absolutely should.
But yet we're just not. And the Chargers kind of in the same thing, right? I mean, you look at the Chargers. I mean, who wouldn't want Herbert? Who wouldn't want Eckler? Who wouldn't want the wide receiver Keenan Allen? I mean, they have a tremendous trio,
and they put up 6 points.
6 points. I mean, and it's, as a fantasy owner of Austin Eckler and a few of those Chargers, you sit there and you say, "What in the hell are you guys doing?"
I think the weather was bad too, but still,
it was. But I mean, so yeah, it's just like, I mean, those guys couldn't do it. I mean, they could do it, but they only scored 6 points against them. So yeah, I'm a little nervous about Thursday. I would like to say the Steelers are going to win, but
I think it has 12-10 written all over it, and I don't know who's going to have the 12 and who's going to have the 10.
It may have 3-2 written over it.
Could be. It could be. It could be like a 6-5 game or something like that.
Maybe some weird low score. Yeah.
Mo Vaughn knocks in a go-ahead triple or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
We can march close enough. We get Boz to kick all the points in. That's really what we need.
We have said this. We have said this so many times this year that they're at a crossroads. They're at so many crossroads.
They're in a roundabout. They're in a roundabout. It's like that one in European Vacation.
Parliament Big Ben.
Yeah. It's you see Big Ben at like noon and they're still circling it at night.
Yep.
So once again, they are at a crossroads, and we'll see what they do. Yeah. I have a feeling they'll bounce back just for personal pride because they were embarrassed.
They
so
have
much.
to.
So it's oh my goodness, it's going to be.
It was a spanking.
That's why I say it's a make or break game. It shouldn't be. You look at the schedule and you're like, this shouldn't be that way.
Right.
But if they don't bounce, if they lay back-to-back eggs against the Cardinals and the Patriots, I think it spirals. I mean. Then the rest of the schedule
is it.
Moot.
Free fall.
Yeah,
free fall.
Free fall. Yep. Because that AFC is so tight. We already talked about how important those AFC North division games are. And Steelers have held their own. They got to win against the Ravens. They got to win against the Bengals. They split with the Browns. They're in a great position right now. And I mean, they still, even though all the things have happened to them, they're still somehow at a crossroads where they can do well, or it can all just fall to shambles this Thursday.
I have an idea. I think they should unleash hell in December. one of Tomlin's infamous quotes. We're going to unleash hell in December, and I think they went 0-4 that year in December. So
he needs to stop coming up with those.
Well, that's a whole other thing. I call it Andy Reid syndrome, and that's where you're a good coach, but you stay at the same team for too long that it just doesn't work anymore, and you have to move on. So, I mean, that's just so much talk these past 2 days of what do you do with Tomlin? Do you keep this going? I've heard people saying that the Steelers are in desperate need of a refresh. You know what Tomlin is? He's Yoda. Yoda was in charge of the Jedi for like 900 years, and they had the same dude in charge for the whole time, and they got complacent and it fell apart.
And one dude showed up and messed it all up.
That's right. Yep. Who's Emperor Palpatine of the Steelers? I don't know. Back Canada.
Oh God.
He's been engineering this whole thing. Let the hate flow through you. Yes.
I don't know. I mean, you talk about like, it's funny with that analogy because you talk about how I'm pretty sure this may happen. I'm relatively certain if they did do that, which they probably won't do. Like if Tomlin were to go to like a mediocre team, or say he goes to like Buffalo, or maybe like the Vikings, or that really young Packers team that beat the Chiefs, I could see him taking that team to a Super Bowl. I could just see it. I really could. I think he's that type of coach. I think it would be good for him, and I think it would be good for the Steelers organization too at this point.
Just keep in mind, we just talked about how Belichick is nothing without Brady. Well, guess who else just lost their Hall of Fame quarterback? Tomlin. And look how they're doing. Just saying, there's no doubt that Belichick's a good coach. Tomlin's a good coach, but you also need the players. And you can't, maybe you just can't get by with a mediocre quarterback.
Right.
The team's just not united. And I think if it's all not lined up in the proper solar system of football, you're not, it's all off balance. It's like you're balancing your tires, I guess. If one's off, everything's off. So you have the coaches maybe a little off, and then the offense is not so great, and the defense, I don't know what's happening there. So you got everybody who's kind of in some shambles, and putting it together, it's not 100. So I don't know.
Yeah. No,
how much do you change?
That's a good one too. And it just doesn't seem like the balance isn't there. Like a lot of times in the last couple of years, particularly the last few years, if the offense doesn't have the defense was alive enough and balanced enough to keep them in the game, maybe even win the game like they did earlier against the Browns this year.
Yep.
And that's been there. But, I think that just starts to weigh on them after so long. I mean, you're now getting into week, 13 here, and it's a long, hard season, and injuries happen.
Yeah,
and,
they are.
That I think maybe, the Steelers bounced back offensively finally last week. Maybe it's a little too late. The defense has just been whipped.
They can't score all the points. Can't have defense be scoring.
Everybody pay.
Yeah.
I believe it was the great philosopher Bone Thugs and Harmony that said, "See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely." I think that sums it up. This is yet another crossroads. So we'll see
your
what
episode title?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. if I could get away with posting the entire song, I would. But all right. Thanks, guys. This was fun.
Thank you.
See you later.
We'll see.
Bye.